what about smoked bones? I know a lot of people say no cooked bones, but when you go into a store, are smoked bones the same?
I don't like anything that sits on the shelf in the basket and doesn't spoil.
Good point.
And the smoked bones actually are usually found in those areas. Second, they're either smoked naturally, which is not ideal because it does have some carcinogens, or they're flavored and dipped in all sorts of different additives and preservatives and colors and so on. So generally, I don't recommend smoked bones.
Mm-hmm.
That's my preference. If someone claims that the bones are naturally smoked, still it's carcinogen. Smoke is carcinogen. We like smoked meat and smoked fish or whatever, but it is not ideal for us either. So we love our dogs, so why not we give them only what is healthy or mostly what is healthy.
And now, what if my dog doesn't have many teeth to chew on bones anymore? Is there an alternative that I can get that calcium, an important mineral, from?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer, and we'll talk about it next time at our next video, that if you really follow a few basic steps, your dog should not be toothless at the age of 10 or 12 or even 16. And that's the problem. It's like with humans. I'm sure that everyone has seen people who do not have teeth, and they're mainly results of poor dental hygiene and not really maintaining teeth. So it's slightly different. Obviously, humans are not going to be chewing on bones, so we have to floss and water pick and go for regular cleaning. But I do believe that we can maintain dogs' teeth without them losing a whole bunch. So
Okay, so thank you for that information, but you didn't quite answer. What if my dog doesn't have teeth now? And what if I'm learning now?
I do have a tendency, to answer the question fully or derail and so on. Thank you for bringing me back to it. So when dogs are missing teeth, there are two ways of actually dealing with that. They can still possibly chew on some bones, but you can kind of monitor them and hold the bones and make sure that they're not swallowing them whole, because it's not ideal. Like even if your dog gobbles and will digest it, it's not a problem on the level of them being in trouble. But it is better if they chew the bone. So if they can chew it somehow, great. If they can, then there is a different way of getting the minerals and trace elements, and that is to give GreenMin. Now, from the point of nutrition, bones are only as nutritious as the feed that the animals that we are feeding got. In today's world, farm animals, even organic animals, don't get really food that is fully complete because we overuse the soils and pastures, and intensive agriculture has basically led to a serious problem with nutrients and nutrition. So we're kind of all running on depletion because of our food. Therefore, I recommend GreenMin, which is a plant-based mineral supplement for dogs that do not get bones primarily, but also for dogs that get bones, or for humans that get sort of balanced food. They still may not have a full spectrum. The way we found out was by running thousands and thousands of hair tests that give you an idea what the mineral content in the body is in the plasma. And hair is really interesting because it bathes in the plasma and then it grows up and seals the minerals that were in the plasma in the hair shaft. And then you can analyze it and basically get a time capsule of the mineral content in food, including the bones. And obviously, you can also analyze bones, but I am definitely seeing huge difference between the animals that do get full spectrum mineral, such as GreenMin, and those who don't. And some people argue with me and say, I've seen dogs doing just fine. Well, they do just fine until they're about 6 or 7 and 8 years. And then we start seeing chronic conditions and deterioration and premature aging. And people do not link it necessarily together with deficiencies.
Right.
My challenge with deficiencies has been actually the biggest challenge in my practice. People just don't really understand that we're much more complex than plants or tomatoes. However, in our society, we understand that tomatoes will not grow without fertilizers or without the nutrients, and we completely miss out on supplementing nutrients to our dogs and our own bodies. And then we are surprised that we have chronic conditions or immune system issues. And yeah, so if someone is really doubting whether minerals are necessary or whether they should be supplementing them, I recommend HairQ Test, which is a test that, well, is really easy. You just get an online form and you submit the sample and we'll send you the results. It's the website is HairQtest.com.
And we can purchase that directly from you, just so people are, clear.
We can purchase it on the website. It is one of the services that we provide because I wanted people to see for themselves what the difference is if they feed or do not feed balanced diet with minerals supplemented in them. I forgot to say that HairQ Test actually shows not only the healthy minerals, the good minerals, but also heavy metals and toxins like arsenic and lead and mercury and so on. In connection with that, I wanted to say that some people feed bone meal, and bone meal may come from sources that are not necessarily the cleanest. They may be contaminated. Those animals may be raised in polluted areas of China and other places. Plus, bone meal is usually cooked or heat processed, and it becomes very undigestible and less bioavailable. So if you're looking for supplementing minerals and you're adding bone meal in your dog's food, I do not think that it's the greatest idea, and I don't recommend it.
And is there an article that we can link to send people to that want to read a little bit more and reflect back and look at the bone chart that you've been touching on throughout this interview?
Yeah, so the article is called "Best Bones for Dogs," and it's called "Complete Vet Approved Guide for Pet Parents."